Hello, I'm Rachel and this is Looney Bird Book Club. It's the 3rd of July. Books I'm carrying over this month are A Memory of Light, Letters to Miss Van Gogh, The Odyssey, The Light of All That Falls, Oathbringer, I suppose Storybook Love, which is the 3rd volume of the Fables series, but I have finished that today. I'm sat outside my rehearsal rooms waiting to go in. I really enjoyed this one. So the first 2 volumes were very much 5 comics that were put together because they were telling one story, whereas this is kind of like different stories all pieced together in one volume because they're all about love, and I really liked it. Although I was just getting to like the foursome of men who were actually a little bit useless, and then I don't think it's going to happen anymore. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I'm excited to talk to Cathy about some of the things that happened in it, and ooh, somebody's knocked up. It's the 5th of July. I started reading Edgedancer yesterday. I'm about, I don't know, 5 chapters in. I'm reading this because I think there are certain bits in it that will probably have cool information that Cathy would appreciate knowing. I know that she doesn't want to read it because she doesn't like Lift, and I'm not going to force her to, but I think there are definitely some things that we learn about Lift and darkness and probably Windle and Investiture as a whole that I will note down and just let her know the basics. It's the 12th of July. I'm having to do a second take of this because I looked at the camera and realised that I wasn't even recording. It's the 12th of July. I have just finished work. It's been an absolutely mega stressful day and I don't want to drive home. I just want to curl up in a ball on the ground and fall asleep. But I have to drive home. And at the moment I'm driving listening to Oathbringer. But the next chapter is one that I don't want to listen to because it will make me sad. So the next time you see me, if I film when I get home, I might be crying. How sad. When I get home, my plan is to have a big cup of sugary tea to try and perk myself up, and then finish off Edgedancer. I've got 3 chapters left of Edgedancer. Message Cathy about the things that she needs to know about Edgedancer, and then I think I don't know, I'll read something else to cheer me up in my weariness. It's the 13th of July and I finished Edgedancer today, which is a novelette, a short story by Sanderson, set between the 2nd and 3rd of the Stormlight Archive novels. I would rate it, I think, 4.5 stars out of 5. I like Lift as a character. Sometimes her inner voice is quite frustrating to read because she is so childish, but I think it's less so. That's less apparent in Edgedancer as a little novelette. Maybe that's because we're always in Lift's head as opposed to just jumping in there in comparison to the regular point of views we have in Words of Radiance, because she's just an interlude. But I mean, I haven't got to a Lift point of view in Oathbringer yet. I don't know if she has any. I don't know, but Lift hasn't really arrived yet in Oathbringer, where I'm reading up to, and I can't remember her being as frustrating as I found her in Words of Radiance. But yeah, I've let Cathy know the necessary information and I can take it off the list. Hello, it's the 15th of July. I'm sorry if I sound husky, I'm just really ill. I'm feeling very sorry for myself. Anyway, today I started my Read Like Cathy challenge, so I started the book Audre Lorde's Your Silence Will Not Protect You. I'd already read the first 2 essays in this before starting this, but I started from the beginning again because I'm a completionist. Is that a word? I don't know. Anyway, that's what I did today. It's the 25th of July. I finished Oathbringer 2 days ago on the 23rd, and I just love it, man. From the end of the calling out arc to the end, it's just amazing. There's so many little relationship dynamics to talk about, and I'm not going to say too much on this video because me and Cathy will be talking about it very soon, but well, hopefully very soon. Guess it depends how quickly she finishes it. But my favorite part is the start of the last chapter, Kaladin's start of the last chapter, when he goes on a little mission
because I just... If you know what it is, you know why. I was less keen on all things Shallan and Kaladin this time around. Shallan kind of... I'm not sure. She was kind of rubbing me the wrong way when the way that she thinks about Adolin and Kaladin. I'm not sure. That's something that I'll talk about more with Cathy in a few days. But I finished Oathbringer. I'm still working on Your Silence Will Not Protect You. I don't think liking is the correct word for this book, but I think I'm getting a lot out of it, and I'm taking my time with it, and yeah, I just really like it. Also, a little kid made me a bookmark on the last day of school, and he came up to me and said, "Miss Bailey, I'm really sorry I haven't had time to finish it, but I made you this bookmark." And I immediately put it in my book because isn't it cute? Anyway, have I done anything else book-wise? I went to see The Importance of Being Earnest at the Royal Exchange in Manchester, and that was very good. By the time this comes out, you won't be able to go and watch it, but if you did watch it, come talk to me about it because I loved it. Editing Rachel jumping in here to say that the footage that I had from this day, the 29th of July, is unusable because of the wind in the background because I filmed while I was walking the dog. Anyway, the clip basically said that on the 29th of July, I decided to restart the audiobook of Memory of Light after finishing Oathbringer because I'd got to about, I don't know, halfway through it in the middle of a chapter that I must have listened to about 6 times because I kept on just not listening to it. So yeah, I restarted Memory of Light because I feel like that will encourage me to actually finish it if I'm starting it from the beginning and fully focusing on the narrative. It's still the 29th of July, however, it's now several hours later. I'm here to talk about Wheel of Time again, and I appreciate that this isn't a Wheel of Time video, but I thought that this was worth mentioning. So in my re-listening to Memory of Light, I've decided to... Most of it I'm going to listen to on 1.25, but the Androl chapters I'm going to listen to on 2 because I just don't really care about him. And I feel like that's where I got stuck last time. I think it was in the chapter where, well, I don't need to talk about that because hashtag spoilers for anyone halfway through Wheel of Time. But in this first POV, in this prologue, Androl is trying to make part of a saddle, and he's thinking about how he has to get the holes he's punching in it specifically aligned so that it doesn't tear and make it weak. And he messes up and he throws it to the side, but then he picks it back up. I'm just going to read this little paragraph. He breathed in and out, then picked up the leather. This would be the shoddiest piece he'd done in years, but he would finish it. Leaving something unfinished was nearly as bad as messing up the details. So I just feel like that's Brandon giving a little nod to the fact that, you know, sometimes he has been a bit clumsy in his finishing of the Wheel of Time series, but if we didn't have some clumsiness from Brandon, we wouldn't have an ending, you know. RJ didn't originally want the series to be finished, and Harriet got Brandon to finish it for us all. So I just, as much as I don't like Androl, I just thought that was quite an interesting sentence. Anyway, on to the main part of this clip. Now, at the weekend, Cathy and I filmed our Happy Birthday Lunabird video in advance. That's coming out tomorrow because tomorrow Lunabird is 1. Woo, 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 woo. Anyway, in that, I briefly talked about a book called The Harpy's Flight, or Harpy's Flight by Megan Lindholm. Megan Lindholm is another pseudonym for Robin Hobb, which is a pseudonym in and of itself. Anyway, I was talking about this story, and I read this story just after I finished Wheel of Time. So that would be, oh gosh, like so long ago now. And I remember at the time of reading, I liked the characters. It felt very much a character informational piece, and I was looking at reading more about that world and those characters. And in my looking, I found that the first time that Kai and Van Dune are mentioned or published was in an anthology volume called Amazons, exclamation mark, which is an anthology by female fantasy writers. So I went onto the internet, I found it on Amazon for £90, and I said, I'm not spending that much on a book. So I went to eBay and I found
I found a seller that was selling both Amazons and Amazons too, so I ordered them. These are 2 books, Amazons and Amazon 2 by, I think it's Jessica Amanda Sanderson. So the first one is strictly female fantasy writers. I think that was my understanding of it anyway. But this one says, Amazons 2 says featuring George R.R. Martin. So this is clearly, this is men and women, but specifically about heroines. So that's fun. Anyway, I just, oh gosh, they're so yellow. These are so cute. I just thought I'd give it an exploration. And while I was on that person's eBay shop, I found some other books that I thought I would also get. So there's this one, which is The Curse of the Witch Queen by Paula Volsky. And I also got a compilation set of The Little Grey Men, which are 2 volumes, The Little Grey Men and The Little Grey Men Go Down the Bright Stream by BB. Can't remember the author's real name, but they published under BB. Wait, no, I do, because they were illustrated by that author, Dennis Watkins Pitchford. These were published in the 1940s, and they're about 4 gnomes, the last 4 gnomes in England, going through the countryside. I just thought it would be quite fun to read these. Anyway, these are the books that I bought. I bought 5 books to add to my ever-growing TBR. But I'm excited about these. I feel good about them. I'm back to immediately say that I was incorrect. So Amazon's also has stories written by men in it, but they all feature heroines as opposed to the traditional man saving the day in fantasy of the 60s, 70s, 80s. Anyway, I'm excited to read them whenever that may be, because let's be honest, it's not going to be soon. Hello, it's the 31st of July. This is going to be a quick hot chocolate because it is still, it's, what time is it? 20 past 10, and it is currently 20 degrees according to my phone, and my car said it was 23 degrees, so I don't want to have this on for very long. Books I've read this month: Edgedancer, Oathbringer. I read most of Audre Lorde's Your Sounds Will Not Protect You. Edgedancer and Oathbringer, obviously by Brandon Sanderson. I've just got a couple of poems to read. I'm not going to manage to read them today, but I will have it finished tomorrow. Other books I'm carrying forward that I haven't touched this month: Letters of Vincent McGough, The Odyssey. I think that's it, because I've restarted Memory of Light and I'm already, I think I'm about 1/3 of the way through it. So I don't know, I'm just on a bit of a high fantasy kick. So once I finish this, I'm going to try and read, that's not true. Once I've finished Your Sounds Will Not Protect You, I do have hot chocolate. I will drink it once I've taken this onesie off, because I can't do both, because otherwise I'll die. What was I saying? Once I finish Your Sounds Will Not Protect You, I am going to read The Light of All That Falls, because otherwise I'm just never going to get around to it. So there's that. I've also read a play called The Audience by someone that I can't remember the name of, but it was about this imagined version of the Queen meeting all the Prime Ministers, and I thought it was quite interesting. Obviously I read it from a play reading committee. I enjoyed it. I didn't understand a lot of it because I'm ignorant, but yeah, I enjoyed it. And I think that is it. See you in August. I'm so excited for Rhythm of War and for the interactions. Some of my favourite characters. I cannot for the life of me remember what Dalinar does in Rhythm of War. My head's just too full of Navani. Oh, they've got old book smell. Love that. Delicious. I'm just opening the bag. They arrived today. And now I'm just fumbling with the bag trying to get it open on this video, and it's not going very well.